Hey, how are you doing? I just want to know that I voted for Obama and even helped his campaign in 2008, and I realized it was a big mistake. So I want to demonstrate to you what I am going to do to fix that. And you can even get a good look at this. Come and watch what I'm doing right there. Alright, you got that? So essentially, you know, he spoke about ending the wars and speaking for the common people and change and this establishment in Washington, and I don't think he really did anything but enhance the establishment in Washington. Now, I want you to know that I am a die-hard Democrat at heart, liberal, radical, bleeding heart, liberal, and I think that this is all a joke between Republicans and Democrats, and that whole idea that there are these two parties actually going on, that is actually this way of dividing the nation. If you want to conquer a country, you divide and conquer. And they've given this story of Democrats and Republicans, conservatives and liberals and TV shows, pundits and all this stuff just to get us arguing about this silly little nonsense stuff when there's a lot bigger issues around our foreign policy, our banking industry. You know, we worry about the economy. The economy is all based on the dollar. The problem is the U.S. dollar, what it is, and who makes it, and why we have it. When we look at those questions, I think we're going to really look for some change. And, well, that's exactly what I'm hoping to do. What we want to do is we want to have real change, and that's why the next thing I'm going to paint on here is a Ron Paul sign. All right, there's my stencil right there, Revolution and Love, the power of love in the revolution, Ron Paul, 2012. So I printed out from Google Images a sign of the Revolution Love sign and print it out in a banner format, and I'm going to, woo, look at that, it's blue, glue this onto my Obama sign, and then I'm going to make a stencil out of it, and it's going to be perfect. Alright, so this is going to go on there right like this, and then I'm going to carve out the letters and paint it in. Great, thanks a lot. Alright, so I've cut out the letters using a razor, forming out the letters, and I got some paint, boom, right there, and a brush. I did something with my brush, and I'll just fill in the letters. Now, I'm going to do the black first, and I'll come back later with the red.
Why is it pink?
Oh, it's supposed to be red.
Dude!
But I just wanted to put that out there that as a Democrat, as a liberal, that there's a lot of things that a lot of people are concerned about. Oh, here I am. And they're concerned that, you know, there's going to be cuts to social services and humanitarian services, and if we just cut government entirely, that the society is going to crash. And I don't believe Dr. Paul is suggesting that. What we're talking about is really much more fundamental. And one issue about cutting on social services, like if that's going to do harm, that's going to happen any which way. With the austerity measures that happen in Europe, that is exactly what's going to be happening in America. So it's not a matter of whether we're going to cut the services or not. It's the money's gone. So let's wake up. Ron Paul, love revolution. Just want to say that I put the paint, got the paint, there's the paintbrush, painted in the black letters. Now I'm going to cut out the red letters and then get red paint and paint that, let it dry, and boom, we got a sign. So the issue is I'm covering up this sign because I think that I really believed in change. We really do need a change, and some of those ideas are kind of drastic, and then in some ways, like, you really listen to them and they make perfect sense. Especially there's such hype about the foreign policy of invading countries and spreading democracy through bombs. It's ridiculous. So I'll show you the next section when I'm ready. Getting some paint now. One note I wanted to make about the allegations of Ron Paul being a racist. I guess you've heard that's been discounted. Those articles were not written by him. He stands against that. He, strongly spoke against those comments. And the other issue is that if you read the other, or seen the other video about the black man who was married to a white woman back years ago when they were pregnant and no doctor would provide for them, you should look this up. It's an amazing testimony. He talks about how Ron Paul was the only doctor in town that would not only support them and give them medical care, but when the baby, I believe, was stillborn, that he didn't charge them. He just took care of all the medical expenses for them. And if that's a racist, then wow, whatever. Oh no, you had a question for me?
Okay, what is this sign for?
Oh, I'm going to put it in my yard. Sort of a political activist sign, letting people know about my standings, and also to encourage discussion and dialogue with people about what's going on today and what he's really about. Because I think there's some misunderstandings about Ron Paul, and I'm trying to, educate, or at least I want to have dialogue. That's why. Oh, and so the reason I covered up the Obama sign was because I, again, like I said, voted for him and believed in all that stuff. And all the things he said I believe in, but the actions have not been the same. Today is January 1st. Yesterday, on New Year's Eve, while I'm sure we were all busy watching the news, he signed the NDAA Act, National Defense Authorization Act, which gives him the power to pass American citizens over to the military if they're suspected of terrorism, and hold them indefinitely without charge. So, golly, that's what our soldiers are dying for protecting our country and our Constitution like that. So, thank you to the service people. Thank you. You made a brave choice and one of honor, and I think that there's been a lot of lies going on at the very top. So I don't have anything with nothing about the service folks, but what about the civilian leadership and the financial leadership behind the military-industrial complex? Why are we fighting these wars? Any which ways? Any other questions? All right. I am almost done. So I cut out the... Oh, okay, there you go. Get the picture of that. And now I got some red paint.
Yay!
Yep. And we're almost done. Getting the red paint. See the red paint down here? There it is. Opening it up. And
that looks hard.
A little. Ooh, but look at that red. Wow.
Blood.
It does look bloody.
Okay. Questions.
Yes, I'm ready.
Why did you choose to use stencil?
Oh, stencil. Because it gives like sort of a rough, homemade kind of look to it. There's also the image, like that's the logo or theme of the campaign too. So I want to match that. But here goes. I'm putting in the red. Wow, that's a lot of paint. So that's what the theme sort of looks like, but the truth is that it looks homemade because it is homemade, and that shows a real difference between like the big candidates, the establishment of candidates, Romney, Obama, Perry. They get so much funding from these huge corporations. Where did this money coming from, and what's drawing it? And then that's why they have these professionally made signs, because they could produce. And that's why, by the way, hey, one of the issues around our country is what is up with our campaigning. Do you know, think about how that is actually done. First of all, it's a sad fact that so many people don't vote. I mean, that's the real tragedy. It's not, making mistakes when you vote. I mean, I love to talk with people who may disagree with me, but as long as they know what they're talking about, then let's have a discussion. But many people don't. So what happens is people rely on how many signs they see, how many 2-minute commercials they're not reading. They're not looking up things. They're not following things to the sources. We're not having discussions. They watch a 3-minute video that, was played 5 times for $3 million, and that's how they're winning the campaigns, and that's not where a country was based on, It really wasn't. So, I'm almost done, and then I'll be letting it dry in the sun, and we will be ready to post it, and then see if anyone complains. And there she is, and I just want to say, the reason I'm doing this is because we got to do something. I mean, you could always talk about I'm sure in your own head you think about what needs to be done, and you have these beliefs, but it's always some other time, some other way, and there is going to be no other time. Maybe the only time we have is now. This is the one chance we have, so that's why I'm stepping up, stepping forward, and moving on. Hope that this helps you either create a sign of your own, or maybe it helps you think about what you want to be doing with our lives and what's going on in the system.
So, hope that you find this interesting, educational, and fun.
Time for a revolution, but a revolution of love. Peace out. Oh, Dr. Paul, if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you so much. Hang in there. We're behind you, and we can make this happen. Cheers.